Good evening, dear listeners. It's me again, your friend Alexian. Welcome to the Library of Wonders, a place where the most amazing stories come to life. Today, we'll once again travel to Fluffville to hear about the new adventures of our favorite superhero pug, Bagel. Ready? Then let's spin the magic compass and set off on our journey. It was a sunny day in Fluffville, and the townsfolk were preparing for the grand opening of a new museum called The Secrets of Time. The museum was set to showcase an ancient artifact, the Clock of Eternity, which, according to legend, could control time itself. But when the day of the opening arrived, something strange happened. The clock had vanished. In its place on the pedestal was a note. If you want to retrieve the clock, solve my riddles. Clues await you in the most unexpected places. Good luck. The Keeper of Secrets. Bagel, being the true superhero he was, immediately knew this was a job for him. He called his friends, Snowball the kitten and Chirp the sparrow, and together they set off on the quest. The first clue was hidden in the note. Look where time flows the fastest. Where could that be? Bagel wondered. Maybe by the river, Chirp suggested. No, the river flows, but time doesn't speed up there, Snowball countered. What if it's an hourglass? They show how quickly time slips away, Bagel guessed. The friends headed to the antique shop, where a giant hourglass stood. At the shop, they found the second clue. Where light and darkness meet, you'll find the next step of your journey. Light and darkness? Could it be sunrise or sunset? Chirp suggested. Or maybe it's a place with shadows, Snowball added. Bagel thought for a moment and said, what if it's a sundial? They show time using light and shadow. The friends hurried to the old sundial in the town park. At the sundial, they discovered a new riddle. To find what you seek, go where time stands still. Where could time stand still? Bagel wondered. Maybe it's a place where everything stays in one place, like a museum, Snowball suggested. Or maybe it's a frozen lake, Chirp added. But Bagel suddenly exclaimed, I know! It's the old clock tower, where the clock stopped long ago. And the friends set off for the old tower on the edge of town. When they reached the old clock tower, the friends faced a new challenge. The entrance to the tower was sealed by a massive door, locked with an ancient padlock with a coded mechanism. On the padlock was an inscription, To open me, hear the whisper of the wind. How can we hear the wind? Snowball asked in surprise. It's just a riddle, Chirp added. But Bagel suddenly smiled and said, No, it's not just a riddle. This is a task for me. He jumped 3 times and did a somersault. His ears fluttered like butterfly wings and began to pick up the faint, barely audible whisper of the wind. The wind says the code is 375, Bagel said, turning to his friends. They entered the code, and the door creaked open with a loud groan. Wow! You really understand the language of the wind, Chirp said in amazement. Of course! I'm Super Bagel, the pug replied cheerfully. Inside the tower, it was dark and dusty, but on the wall hung a massive old clock, its hands frozen in place. Beneath the clock, they found the final clue. To return the clock of eternity, solve this last riddle. What always moves but never stops? That's easy, Bagel said. It's time! The moment he said the word, the old clock on the wall began to tick, and a hidden compartment in its mechanism slid open. Inside was the clock of eternity, The friends returned the artifact to the museum, and the residents of Fluffville were endlessly grateful to them. "You're true heroes," they said. And Bagel, Snowball and Chirp smiled, knowing that together they could solve any mystery. Well, dear friends, it's time to spin the magic compass and return to the Library of Wonders. But don't worry, because Bagel's adventures are far from over, and there are many more exciting stories waiting for us on the shelves of my library. Until next time, and may time always bring you joy.